All right, guys, welcome back. Today we're going to do Lab Rats issue number 5 from DC Comics, made by John Byrne and written by John Byrne and artist John Byrne. I don't like the cover because it spoils a lot. Basically, well, in the last issue we found out that the bad guy is Superman, and then yeah, somehow. So these guys are on on the other side of the tower, and then it seems that they made the decision to go to the tower, and now their friends are being captured. And it seems that the old guy here, maybe I missed it, but it seems this is Jimmy Olsen. I didn't know that at all, but it's been revealed here through dialogue or whatever. And apparently they've been captured by this woman called 12. How? Because it seems that Jimmy Olsen has the brilliant idea to get in this tower, this evil fortress or whatever, to get to Superman and, I don't know, wake him up. So first of all, how did he know that the bad guy was Superman? And why did you think it was a good idea just, I don't know, sneak into this tower and get to Superman directly? I mean, there's a lot of guards. I mean, you don't, if you play a video game, you don't go immediately to a boss, right? You go to a lot of hurdles and struggles and sub bosses. If it's not how it, well, let's move on. And, right, but it's conveniently, this guy called, I believe, Wu escaped, and she's just blabbering about being captured and all that stuff. Then we go to Superman, who doesn't know he's Superman, and he says, "What's going on? Who are those people 12 is interrogating? We're not sure, sir, except for the old man. Their clothes too new and too clean to be sewer rats. What about the old man? He seems familiar. He claims to be James Olsen, sir, but of course that can't be. Olsen, Jimmy Olsen. So I don't know, he just feels weak, and then the other people says, hey, do you need medication? And he says, no, I'm fine. Going to concerts with 12. She will have more detailed answers for me, right? So some dialogue here about, that these people need to get an eye, keep an eye on him, but again, they don't. And you understand what this device is, don't you, old man? Says 12 to Jimmy. Yeah, I heard stories about this. I'm sure you have, but not from everyone who's been subjected to it. The most they can do is sit in a corner and drool. Is that what you really want for yourself and your little friends? And she kicks him in the head and all that stuff. And so this girl is, shouting at 12 for doing that. She says, he's an old man. All right. And she says, and you're not. Would you rather I started with you? And she says, well, do whatever you want. And but it seems that she noticed that she's not from Metropolis, but she needs answers from Jimmy. And then he's, being subjected to this device. And then we go into the past where he has a chat with us, I think his girlfriend or whatever. And then this is happening. And then when he wakes up, Metropolis is gone, he survived, and Ronnie, maybe his girlfriend or friend, is dead. And then years later, he is going away from, he went to Australia for whatever reason, and then he says that he needs to go back to Metropolis, and he wants to go back to see why, for reasons. So they wave goodbye, and they say, well, Superman's not here to protect you. And he says, I know. And then he goes to, France. And he meets with this guy called Gaston. So he goes on a trip again. Now, I'm not sure why you go through the snowy mountains to reach Metropolis. I mean, I don't think Metropolis in the other side of the Himalayas or whatever. And since I think Metropolis is in fiction America, you can go from France to America without going over these snowy mountains, right? I don't know, it just seems far-fetched. And then, well, can you believe it? It's Lois Lane at the same time when he's just, why? How? Right? And she said, hey, it's you. I heard the rumors that Jimmy Olsen had to come back to Metropolis, but I couldn't believe it at all after these years. So they're having coffee, I guess, a campfire. And he says, what's happening here, Lois? All over the world, I was making my way here, the overwhelming conclusion that the disaster started here in Metropolis. We don't know, Jim. Almost 10 years since happened and nobody knows what it was. Right? Okay. So we see Superman with black ass. Maybe it's, coincidence, and then something happened to him. And we see this, I don't know, this vortex. And she says, it was horrible, Jim. Like the whole universe turned inside out for a fraction of a second. And he says, what happened to Superman? No one knows, Jim. Most people think he was right over the epicenter, was killed. Only 2 people refuse to accept that. One is me, and the other one is the madman who's been building that tower for the last 5 years. Okay, then we go back to the present. And wouldn't you believe it, in this whole tower, Wu meets with his friends. What a coincidence, isn't it? So he wants to open this door because Jimmy also had a bag and they put it in here, but he can't open this because this alien technology is too weird. And then this girl, yes, that's a girl. That's the problem what I have with John Byrne. John Byrne is a great artist, but he always, when it comes to young people, he always draws them weird, too big of a head, too small of a neck, boyish looks. I mean, this is a girl because they call her Dana, and then they pick up this bag, right? And then not Superman comes in, and he says, hey, what are you doing here? And so Dana says, hey, Superman, what did you call that? Call me that? Is this some kind of a joke? It's no joke, Superman. Showing Wu. And so he says it's time for shock therapy, and Superman is shocked. So he doesn't feel well and at all. And then, all right, going back to 12 and her interrogation. Nothing of consequence. His pathetic life story. Well, Travis, his return to Metropolis, life with the sewer rats, the death of Lois Lane. What? You can just throw that in there and just say, oh, Lois is dead. Why? How? We are not getting anything. Okay. But he seems to know nothing about the whereabouts of Superman. And then why are you so determined not to let him talk to your leader of yours? Shut up, unless, perhaps you require a similar treatment. And but then this girl that reveals that they are not from here, but they are from the future. And she says, what a ridiculous story. And but then she wants to try that apparatus on this guy, right? So, and then a voice says, stop. And then Superman comes in, right, in his costume, and he looks smaller, maybe. And then the others have the leader's costume or armor, and he says, what? You mean the leader was Superman? How? I'm not entirely sure myself, says Superman. So much of the last 50 years is a fog. And she just stand there, not, how do you say it, outraged or angry, or like she knows that she was Superman, right? And they talk about not aging and etc. So Wu says, why are you not aging like us? And 12 says, he was over the epicenter of the blast that destroyed the world. His kryptonian I don't know. must have reacted to the distortion in the same way. So Superman decides to flow over to this whole epicenter, and this guy goes with him. And she says, fight out yourself. Can you fly yet? The spread pattern of the blast is clearly visible from here. She's pretty calm about the whole thing, right? Not being shocked that he's been Superman. She probably knew, right? So they're going to the epicenter. Why is nobody going to the epicenter through in 10 years is I don't know, mystery. I mean, you could have followed this, right? Because the whole blast has been blasted out. So this is the hub, and there are. So he going down into this hole, and it's near the LexCorp Tower, and then he finds something, but we are not gonna show what. Okay, maybe more mystery in the next issue. I don't know. And then he says, so the other says, hey, are you sure? 100%, Dana. Now, or how should I be? The weight of evidence seems overwhelming. And they say, it's our fault. It's all our fault. Right. Okay. And then Superman comes in and Jimmy is catatonic and dead. Just more random weird stuff is happening. Just no drama, no, I don't know. We don't see it, right? It's just, hey, here's Lois Lane. She's dead. Oh, here's Jimmy Olsen. Oh, he's catatonic. Oh, by the way, he's Superman. Oh, nobody's been shocked at all except for the people that, worked for him for the last 10 years or so. It's just, I don't know. It's just, it seems that there's too many gaps in the story, or this feels rushed. Like, hey, let's power through the story and just have some plot convenience here and there. All right. So he says, maybe we can something do about all of this. So Tiny Superman says, I'm not all up to speed too. I still have some recovering to do from the effects of the few grains of kryptonite number 12 has hidden in the armor I wore. What? Where does that come from? Right? It's just throw some random shit in there just to make him, I don't know, man. Speaking of random shit, and so this guy says, our search for Superman was not confined to Metropolis. We had these high altitude scanners in place for a decade now, and according to them, a whole fleet of alien vessels just pulled into stationary orbit above Metropolis, and we see this fallout here, and their weapons are coming online right now. What? Why? How? I don't know, man. This doesn't feel right at all. I am a big fan of John Byrne and his writing and his art, but this is not it, man. This is just, hey, let's throw some curveballs in there. Just, forget about this plot here that we're going to move away from, and let's introduce a new danger. So you cannot think about why is nobody being surprised that Superman is Superman, and that's his mind is returning. And why was 12 looking for Superman for 10 years? Also, she knew that she was Superman. What was the reason? And terrorizing the rest of the Earth and Metropolis. Questions. I don't like it. And that's where I'll, stop this review. Let me know what you think about this, guys, in the comments. See you next time, and don't forget to subscribe and all that jazz. Bye-bye.